Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 19th of December 2021 and the time now is 6:18 a.m. Well, today our topic is, do you still care about National Day? Right, so before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Yeah, for this topic, we talk about National Day. And first, when I was preparing this topic, I found that a word which is appear in the topic still, yeah, the word still. So it actually gave me a feeling like um, previously we care about National Day, and maybe after we've grown up and we care less about National Day. And for me, it is like that. Yeah. When I was still younger, maybe I was in primary school or secondary school. Um, Especially, I think it's primary school and also kindergarten, because in my memory, the earliest memory of me doing something related to National Day is in the kindergarten. Yeah, at that time, uh, I remember that before National Day, and then our teacher in kindergarten, they will have something like the art class, and then we uh, we we would have the opportunity to do something, for example, to coloring the flag, to do a flag craft, and then everyone can have one, yeah, your own craft. And then during the National Day, I think it's like maybe before it, a few days before it, um, the teachers will bring us to go for a national parade, and then of course it is not on the the real National Day, and then the teacher bring us, and then we all queue up following the teachers to go around the the nearby houses, uh, which is also near to the kindergarten. Yeah, and uh, in my memory, I have um, uh, we have done this 2 years. I mean, maybe it's the because uh, I think I was in the kindergarten for 3 years, and the last 2 years, yeah, I have this chance to go for the national parade, and every time I feel happy because it is unusual that we can go out of the class and then to do something. Yeah, and when it comes to primary school, also in the art class, basically, uh, we also must have do something to that is related to national days. Yeah, and also when we were younger, we don't have to go to school during national days. It must be a public holiday. So yeah, I think for me, that is a day that I will like feel good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, because I think mainly because of holiday, and also because a little of the things that we have done, which I means actually having a national day and do something. Let's say the craft in the art class is actually one of the way that cultivate patriotism for for the young people. I mean, for the kids, and then for the student, it's a good way to do that. And then at that time, I don't know, I just feel good about my country. Maybe I feel like I love my country because uh, when doing something about that, we feel like everybody care about it, and maybe the teacher also kind of like spreading uh, uh, the feeling to us, the feeling of patriotism. So I think this is actually quite a good way. Yeah, but when it comes to uh, uh, older, yeah, not in the primary school or kindergarten, after that, I think maybe we didn't focus so much on a national day, and especially after secondary school, I think it is not much, nothing more than uh, a simple holiday to me. And of course, I won't remember. I won't forget like, oh, what's the day today, something like that. I still will remember, and of course, you can feel it because you see some flag on the street, or some national team song. Also, some maybe they will talk about the national parade, maybe on the radio, something like that. So yeah, I think after we've grown up and uh, we found that National Day uh, is actually um, quite quite normal. It's nothing. It's like nothing special. It is just a ceremony for the country to celebrate uh, the day um, that they form the country. Yeah, and I think maybe it is just a day that remind me to be gratitude, yeah, and grateful for the country, which is actually quite harmony and without war, um, also without natural disaster. Yeah, so yeah, to me, actually, I think I'm I'm not really care about National Day. Yeah, this is my sharing today.
Mm. Yeah. But why we why we care less about National Day nowadays?
Um, yeah, I think for people uh, um, I think that is the generation maybe is the baby boomer. Yeah, that generation maybe they will have stronger they will have stronger affections to the country, or maybe uh, they experience more than us at that time. Our country formed in 1957, and I think maybe people that maybe they were born in the 20th century, they will have much affection than us, which we born like close to the 21st century. And it is just like the thing passed, and then uh, we don't feel like the country, how the country formed, and then yeah, I think it is just become something that we have ignored. This is the first reason. And the second, I think, is some people think they are proud of their country. They are proud of being the resident of the country. And for me, I think I don't really feel proud of being Malaysian. Um, yeah, yeah, I just cannot find a reason to be proud of. Yeah, and I wish I could, but I couldn't find a reason. And also, maybe like me, because I'm Chinese, and I'm not the majority, how to say, the major race in Malaysia. Yeah, we are not the
Bumiputra? We call
Bumiputra.
Bumiputra.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes you can see that some politician, they are trying to provoke uh, some argument between races. They are kind of like using this to get some political purpose. And also we can feel actually in the races uh, there are many uh, potential maybe arguments, or uh, uh, um, yeah, I'm looking I'm thinking of a word, but I couldn't get it right now. It is like a bomb, yeah, which will explode anytime if the politician do something between different races. Yeah, so I think this is what our country um this is the challenge of our country, and uh it hasn't been doing well. So look at the country, I think really ma- uh, being not being the majority, I don't feel like I really like the country. I have a lot of affections to the country, or I feel very proud of our country. Yeah, I couldn't find uh, any anything to support this. Yeah, so I think this is the reason. Yeah,
Yeah, I
two of
think
them.
that the words you want to describe yourself is tension.
Yeah, create a tension, right?
And yeah, but just now you talk about the gratitude, right? And
Mm.
in this situation, how can you cultivate the gratitude?
Um, um, yeah, I think even though there is some potential tensions, and uh, but basically people in Malaysia, we are still quite friendly. Yeah, I mean between races. That is just what the government, yeah, I'm not mentioning any guys, just some politicians, they are trying to create the tensions. So it's not the fault of normal people. Normal people actually, you can feel like if you go to your neighborhood, and then maybe your neighbors is Malay or other races, Indian, we actually uh, can can live together quite well. We can get along with each others. There is not much problem. We don't feel like, oh, you are a different race and then we hate you. No, not to that degree. We still live quite well, and uh, people, I think, is also getting used to how to live in a country with different culture, and most of the people can use a common language to communicate. We also will go to some restaurant, some shops, which is operates by other races, and yeah, we also eat some foods from other culture. So yeah, I think this is something uh, like firstly, we have different cultures. Secondly, uh, we can blend in together, even though the politicians sometimes do something to break us. But I think there is something that I feel grateful for, which is even though firstly we are not like the single race country, and people learn how to uh, blend in together. Yeah, I'm gratitude for this. And also second is Malaysia is considerably uh, stable. Yeah, we don't have something like uh, some big disaster, or some uh, uh, maybe big things, like some countries have some war, have some big events which make them unstable. Yeah.
Yeah, for the uh, for the first reasons of credit of gratification, doesn't doesn't it regarding to the community? Is it is it commu is it is it community or is it country? Yeah. Second, I
Mm.
clearly understand that it is country. But actually, you also can say it is not country. It is just
The
maybe
place, the area I live, right?
yeah the geography the geography factors.
Mm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the first one. Just a little bit more to add in. I think it can also relate it to country because you can see we have different cultures, and uh, even though maybe some politicians they uh, uh, de- try to deny some other races culture, but at the end they still like allow us um, to use our uh, to learn our mother tongue language. To they allow us, let's say the Chinese community, they allowed the Chinese community to have their own school, to learn their own mother tongue language, and then they also um, uh, allow us to have to do the things that Chinese do. One example is because this is a country of the majority have the religion of Islam, and they still allow uh, uh, the minority of people to eat something like pork, yeah, which is halal. And even though you may think like this is something the human right, yeah, we should gain the right, yeah, but somehow I'm grateful. I'm grateful for we still able to get some freedom, some right that those things that those things we still can do, and then we still can have the uh, our school to learn our mother tongue language. Yeah.
Mm. But it seems like so pity.
Mm.
And
Yep.
how I mean, the key point is not about uh whether you can find a thing to grateful for. You of course you can find a thing grateful for, even
Mm.
though you are in prison,
Yep.
even though you are sent to the jail, you still can find something to grateful for,
Mm.
right? You can
Yes.
grateful for your body, for your health, for the food. You still have foods to eat. You don't need to pay any cents. Yeah, you still have a place to live. You don't need to care about the problem of accommodations.
Mm.
Yeah, you have a
Yep.
clothes, have a clothes, and it keep you warm. Yeah, you have a place to sleep, even though it is not very comfortable.
Mm.
But compared to the beggar, at outside, you have like have more have have more peace
Mm.
compared to them,
Yeah.
especially considering the coronavirus nowadays.
Mm.
Yeah, and even you got the coronavirus, um, you were sent to the hospital or you were sent to mm, some community to cure your to cure your illness.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, uh, maybe, yeah, but if you are a beggar at outside, maybe you sleep in the park. If you got the COVID-19, there's nobody who care you.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, so this is something you can grateful for, even though you are in a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we always can find a thing to grateful for. But
Mm.
in such an environment, you can choose to keep cheating yourself and find the things to grateful for and don't change anything, or you still can grateful for something, but at the same time you act, you think, you change yourself if you couldn't change the country. Which one is
Mm.
better, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always grateful for my country uh, because I'm able to own a house. I'm able to buy a house uh, for a relatively cheap price, and government subsidize me, and I get a first class owner, and the study loans and the student loans being waived. Okay, and this is not a small amount of money. Yeah, and yeah, and I'm grateful for the geographic locations because our next uh, especially we live in JB because we can go to Singapore to work and then we can bring money back,
Yeah.
yeah, and spend. So we have the strong currency advantage. I mean, we can spend a strong currency. Yeah, and I'm grateful for um, location because uh, as also especially in JB because we have a lot of interaction with Singapore and we can transfer our skill from Malaysia to Singapore and we can earn much more salary.
Mm. Yeah, this one really. We are so close to Singapore. Imagine that if someone is in Thailand wanted to work in Singapore, that will be much farther, right, than
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Mm. And I also grateful for because of the geography, Malaysia and Singapore have a lot of interactions. I mean, for the government, so uh, you will face uh, lesser restrictions in Singapore if you are a Malaysian, and
Mm.
you have more kind of like uh
Privilege.
maybe it's privilege. For example, mm, okay, if you are Indians and if you live in India, okay, and you couldn't join the service line in Singapore, you couldn't work as you couldn't like uh uh work in work at the frontier
Mm.
service line
Yeah.
if you are holding work permit. Yeah, if you are holding like S pass
Mm.
or higher, this is not the case. But if you are work permit, you couldn't work in certain industry. You have lesser job to choose. Yeah,
Mm.
some of the job you couldn't work. But for
Mm.
Malaysians and for like the Chinese in China and yeah, we can work at the frontier
Mm.
at the front line, even though you are like Indian, even though you are the Malay in Singapore, sorry, in
Mm.
Malaysia, as
Yeah.
long as you are Malaysian, you are able uh to do that. Yeah, you are able to work at the frontier. Yeah,
Mm.
so this is kind of like the privilege. Mm.
Yeah.
Because these two countries are so close. Yeah, and yeah, you want to apply something, it will be faster, it will be more easier. And also like in our country, yeah, we have uh, we learn English, we learn Chinese. It also yeah, maybe even though this is not the government wants us to learn Malay, okay, and because our official language is Malay,
Mm.
but we still able to learn English, Chinese, yeah. So we have the language advantage. Yeah,
Mm.
although most of the people their language is so bad, they have learned three of the language. Yeah, and it's kind of like the half of it's kind of like uh half of the water volume in the bucket. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
you
half
have
bottle.
yeah. Mm, yeah. So but you can improve. Mm, yeah. So we can grade for many things.
Mm.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I still care about National Day. I would say no.
Mm.
And if you are in Singapore, and then most of your information, most of the news is come from Singapore, and less of them is come from Malaysia. And on Malaysia National Day, you still need to work. this is not a public holiday, and you will very easily to forget this is a Malaysia National Day.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, I can
Nothing more than a holiday, right?
no. I mean, for Singapore, I mean, if you work in Singapore, this is not a holiday for
Oh
you.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So, yeah. Especially you need to work on the day, and you live uh, as the same as previous day. You live the same. You live the same. You act the same as the previous day. Nothing changed. So you will very easily to forget. It's actually a Malaysia National Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and also from the news, from the uh maybe from the Google News, from Facebook. I don't surf Facebook nowadays. Maybe from YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. If you are not a Malaysian, and YouTube's I mean, if you are not in Malaysia, YouTube seldom will send you the kind of like the news happen occurred in Malaysia. For example, the National Day event.
Yeah. Yeah, it just won't appear on the first page you access YouTube, right?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you
So
have subscribed to some Malaysian YouTuber, maybe you get some news
yeah,
about National
yeah,
Day.
yeah, yeah. They want to get more they want to gain more view. So they film a video regarding the Malaysia National Day. So yeah, we realize that we aware that today is Malaysia National Day. Yeah, when they post a video on YouTube. Otherwise, it kind of like nothing can remind me the day is actually the National Day. Yeah, and if you ask me why, I miss standing from a Malaysian's viewpoint. If I live in Malaysia, the first reason is yeah. If you live in Malaysia, yeah, of course, National Day is a public holiday. But for some people, they still need to work. Yeah, they will just experience busier. Mm. And so everything is the same. Yeah. And even though for you, if you are able to to rest on that day because this is your rest day, and yeah, it is just not more than a public holiday.
Yeah.
And we seldom watch TV nowadays. So the TV programs, uh, which is regarding the Malaysian National Days events, we won't watch them. Even for my mother, she won't watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so bored. It's so the TV program is so bored.
Yeah, it seems like every year the same thing.
Mm. And yeah, so and my mother will be okay maybe for Malaysian National Days, uh his his favorite TV program uh will not change. Okay, will not change to like other TV programs regarding National Days events. But when Singapore when it is Singapore National Day, yeah, the TV program will change. Yeah. So um, but if this is but but if this change from Singapore National Day event to Malaysian National Day events, still my mother will also not watch them. I can fully ensure that. Yeah. So This is the first thing. And second, we are become busy. I cannot say we become busy, but it seems like the society in this society, we kind of like chasing the money, and then we become busier, and it actually make us don't have a lot of time to care about other things
Mm.
beside of our well-being. For some people, it's just about the material condition.
Yeah.
So this is also a thing that is quite sad, yeah, because we kind of like lose the sense to have the gratitude, to grateful for something,
Mm.
yeah, because we are keep focusing on the current task, on the uh current things. Mm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree just now what you say. It's the generations. Mm, yeah, but how about other events? For example, the teacher day. For example, the parents' day, your father day, your mother day.
Mm.
Yeah, it is too long already, and your mother after give birth of you is 20 years or 30 years, or some people is 40 years, 50 years, 60 years later. But would they still celebrate the parents' day?
Yeah, maybe yes, maybe no.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, they totally ignore these parent days.
Mm.
But for some other people, if they have this, if they have the kind of like the habits or have the culture to celebrate the Parents' Day, they will.
Mm.
But if you compare this to National Day, mm, so uh, it could be the reasons because if it's 50 years or 60 years ago, it could be the reason. That's is this a strong argument for that? Is it
Mm.
a strong supporting argument for that? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you consider birthday, some people still celebrate when they are maybe 60, 70. Uh, it seems like if something that is related to us and we are so much involved in, yeah, I think maybe we care more about those
Mm,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, and it also quite ironic, right? We live in this country, and then we must be also like involved. It is inevitably we involve in this country. We live in this country every day. But actually, in our mind, we don't feel really like so related, so involved. Involved. Yeah, we are related. We also involved, but just for this national day, we don't care so much.
Mm, yeah. Mm, yeah. So uh, yeah. I have nothing to add in. Mm.
Yeah, I have one question to ask you. If one day you got the chance to go to the maybe some stadium to see the National Day parade, uh, but you have to, let's say you have to buy your the ticket by your own. Maybe it's a flight ticket or maybe it's bus ticket. Uh, and the fee for entering the stadium is totally free. Would you want to go or bring your family, your friends, to go and watch the parade?
Are you talking about no subsidies for going those events?
Uh, yeah, just a free ticket. Yeah, no other subsidies like
Yeah.
the transportation. You have to bear the cost.
Yeah. So why should I go? Yeah.
Hmm.
So it means yeah, yeah. The question is not free or about the cost. It's about yeah. It's about the subsidy. It's about the benefits.
Hmm.
Uh, Yeah, even though you subsidize all my cost, transportation, all those things, I still have opportunity cost.
Mm.
Are you going to subsidize my opportunity cost?
Mm. Yeah. How about if let's say they create something like a code or maybe some fingerprint scanning at the stadium, and then people who scan it um can have one more paid holiday in in a year. Yeah. So would you go there?
This is Malaysia holiday. Yeah,
Mm.
now I stay in Singapore. And
Yeah.
also for some people, they need to work on the holiday.
Mm, yep. Yeah. Some people they have
And
no choice.
yeah, and maybe you will say, yeah, according to the law, uh, the staff will get double paid or even triple paid on the public holiday.
Mm.
Yeah, but this is according to the strict law. And what is the agreement? What's a mutual agreement between you and your employer? This is another story.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, because you and your employer can have a mutual agreement that
Yep.
that maybe this is a peak period, so you do OT and the employer don't give you any pay. Yeah, even though you work on Sunday, even though you work on public holiday. Yeah, so this is not double pay. This is totally no pay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think this is not a good incentive. And
Mm.
even though for some people, like the housewife, they don't need holiday.
Yep.
Mm.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
if you
This.
give money,
Mm.
uh, I if you give money, it depends on the amount. Yeah. Mm. But when you use money to incentivize people go to the event, uh, the cost for everyone to go to the station will also increase.
Mm. Yep.
It's because of the market. This is a free market mechanism.
Mm.
Yeah, the transportation cost will increase because everyone rush to the same place. Even though you say this is in this is in uh we don't need everyone's go to Kuala Lumpur, okay? But do you have so many stations at at different states at different locations?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm. Yeah, and also the cost is not only the transportation cost. It could be other costs, mental costs, the energy, all those things.
Mm. Concerns about the pandemic nowadays.
Uh, yeah,
It's almost
maybe
impossible for me to go.
yeah, maybe this is a post-pandemic uh things. Okay,
Mm.
but yeah, but how about safety?
Mm. Yep.
Maybe you lose your wallets on that day.
Yeah. And some people also lose their life in such a big event. Uh, yeah, maybe they fall down in the crowd and then people didn't notice them, just walk on them, something like that.
Mm, yeah, yeah. So and this is this is the first thing. Mm, this kind of subsidies won't work, and you don't gain any benefit from that because people are do the thing because of the money. But of
Mm.
course, they will found that the money compensate them. Actually, it's not. It's means the profit they gained is actually under the expectation because just like what I say, their cost will also increase.
Mm.
The cost is unexpected. The profit is expected. The revenue is expected, but the cost increase, the revenue fixed, and then your profit reduced. So they feel like uh yeah they go for the money, but the money didn't compensate them fully.
Mm.
It just partially.
Yep.
They don't satisfy because they over expect the benefits. and so you create kind of like dissatisfaction, even though you
Mm.
give them money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't for government or for country, mm, they don't gain any benefit by implementing these kind of subsidies.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. And suddenly I'm thinking of some events. For example, the wedding banquet,
What
and
is it?
also
Wedding? What?
yeah, 婚宴. Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
yeah, you join somebody's weddings and you can go and maybe have your dinner there, right?
Mm.
And imagine that if you held a wedding without providing food for them. Yeah, they just come and sit down and see the wedding process. Do you think there are still so many people will come?
Mm,
Maybe they still need to give you maybe the red package to uh, to like it is a symbol of maybe wishing.
uh, I'm not sure because there are some factors involved here. Because the first is your influences. Means
Mm,
your your kind of like uh the power or the your influence,
mm,
whether you have the ability to persuade them. And yeah, and also the human act, because human act sometimes you couldn't predict. Mm,
mm, yeah.
Maybe they think they don't need to get the red package, or they just need to get or they just need to give very little money.
Mm,
Maybe they'll go. Yeah, because people go to the event is not only want to witness your wedding, witness your big day. Maybe this is a social day. So I mean, this is a social event for them to meet new
yeah.
people. Yeah. So that means if you let's say if you are a very great businessman and you invite everyone can come to a wedding day, maybe some people go. Yeah, because of the social. If you
Mm,
are normal people, maybe just like what I say, uh, mm, maybe they think they need to give you lesser money, lesser amount of money in the red package, they will go. Or maybe
mm,
they think there's no food and yeah, and it's kind of like uh, not the traditional, not the conventional wedding events, and they don't go. Kind of like
mm,
waste of their time. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So there are many factors involved here.
Yeah, I like the point you mentioned the wedding banquet as a social event. Yeah, it is. Um, you can see during the wedding banquet, yeah, some of the people go and then they also make friends. Some of them on the wedding day.
Mm.
Yep. Uh, yeah. It's hard to say. Yeah, I agree. For the next one I think of is the trade union. I mean, it's not a trade union. It's some local union in a country, 工会, and then uh, let's say my father attend uh, that's called something related to car
Mm.
repairing.
Yeah.
They are a union, and then they will have a meeting every year, and basically they must like to treat, let's say, a dinner, a lunch, so that people will go. Yeah, they must do this. And also what they do is like before the meeting, sorry, before the meal, and then they need to uh, talk about the things they would like to discuss. And after that is the time for them to take the dinner or lunch. So it seems like they must provide something so that people will come instead of people will come automatically. You may think like some people feel they are not so related to the union, but when they have problem, they will uh, kind of like seeking helps from the union. Uh, yeah, they actually they are still related because they uh, we don't force people to join the union, but they join uh, by their own. Yeah, they join willingly. But for the meeting, they have to do something so that people will come.
Mm. Yeah, and I think for the unions, every company need to make a donation, right? It's a kind of like the yearly donation or yearly
Yeah,
something.
yes.
My company also got a lot of this kind of union,
Mm,
and we pay the donation and we never attend those events. I'm not
mm,
sure my boss, but I don't think he 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 kind of like wants to attend those events.
mm,
So motive is unsure. Mm,
yep. And
maybe you
also,
just maybe you
yeah.
just to hang your company name on the union. So maybe uh, when they have some news uh, or when they'll put your name on their website,
Mm,
and this is kind of like the marketing fee or advertising fee. Yeah, many companies treat this treat the thing like this.
mm,
And if you got some problems, yeah, you can go for the unions, but how many things they can help you to solve?
yeah. Also limited.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah, they will just maybe they forward the problems to other people, maybe for some politicians.
mm, yeah. Yeah, and also like you said, maybe some people go is because of that is a social event, right?
Yeah.
And some people also go to try to meet try to meet and to know more people in the same industry.
Yeah. So maybe for the lunch or for the dinner or maybe the kind of like the afternoon's coffee uh,
Mm,
times, they prepare the foods and beverage for them. So it's actually create a- create a time and space for them to
mm,
socialize.
yes, yeah, yeah. If they have got nothing to do, just sit to attend the meeting, maybe it will kind of like strange to go to talk with other people and then do nothing, right?
Mm, yeah.
Yes, it's not like a a common social event.
Yeah, and normally the result of the meeting or the consequence or the discussion of the meeting has no relations with your business, has no
Mm,
relation to your company.
yeah.
Mm. So why people need to pay the cost? That means opportunity cost, not only transportation, not only of this, is also your time. The time is scarce,
Mm,
and why you need to spend the cost, go to the events if you couldn't get any benefit.
mm,
Just sit there and listen to meeting, and those meetings uh, will have zero relations with your company.
yeah, yeah. And for the meeting that my father attend, actually, they are quite smart. You know, they actually provide the um yeah, I forgot the words suddenly. 奖助学金.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like a subsidy for the members' children. Yeah. So but there are some requirement. Let's say your child must get like maybe 70 marks or maybe must get a B or what, and then also they must attend so that they can get the money, like 100 or 200, something like that.
Oh, just 100 or 200.
Yeah.
Or I thought it's a kind of like the waiver of the student loans, or like the support for study costs.
Yeah, because they also have the limited resources.
Yeah.
Those are just the money that the members pay every year, and then they try to use a portion of it to give it out.
Yeah. So I mean, I think but standing from a company viewpoint, this is not a point, because if you think in economics, the unions or the associations, they need money to run their business. They need money to run their company. They need to hire people.
Mm.
So they must have some surplus. So that means they need revenue to cover their costs in order to have the surplus.
Mm.
Yeah. And standing from this viewpoint, the money they give back to you will lesser than the money you give them. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you just go for, I mean, if you aim for the for the subsidies, for the subsidy for your children's education,
Mm.
I mean, if you aim for that, and the cost and benefit will imbalance, your cost sure will greater than your benefit.
Mm.
Yeah, because first is the benefit must not be high to attract everyone to do the same thing, and they need to consider if everyone do the same thing, uh, they will suffer a loss. So that means the cost will be lower than your donations, or maybe that they have run a survey how many people, how many members have the children.
Mm.
They have make they definitely will make a balance. Otherwise, they will suffer loss. So they need to run the number
Mm. Yep.
before deciding to give the subsidies. Yeah, and the main purpose you are doing that is the social is for the social event, and also the money is kind of like immaterial to you. Maybe 100, 200, or even 500 ringgit to you is a kind of like immaterial. If you consider yourself is a businessman, is an
Mm.
employer, uh, I would say maybe less than 1,000 is not enough to cover your opportunity cost.
Mm. Yep.
So the key still is a social event. I would say like.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, the biggest incentive for them to go, right?
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, so do you have anything on to add?
No.
Okay, so that's all for today's conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think about conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocab or grammar mistake that you made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.